So he's obviously used to this ground as well. I mean, this guy's set records here, so he's comfortable here as well. So I mean, that becomes early wickets become very important now. You've got KL and Chris. If you get those two out in the first few overs, you have every chance of winning the game.
All right, we'll take a look at the playing 11. Plenty of changes. In fact, two on both sides, be it Royal Challengers Bangalore or Kings 11 Punjab. I mean, the big news, of course, is Dale Steyn is not playing for Royal Challengers Bangalore. Coming in place of him is Tim Southee. That you'd have to say is a game-changing moment, Ajit. I mean, Steyn goes out. We were talking about this Bangalore team, version 2.0, ever since Dale Steyn came in. But now that he's out, it changes things.
Yeah, and an injury. Hopefully, it's not too bad. They need to win every single game that they play now. So to not have Dale Steyn, particularly against this batting, where it's so top heavy that you need a strike bowler up front. Hopefully Southee steps up. Hasn't looked great in this tournament when he's played. Like I said, hopefully he steps up. That's a big blow. I mean, that was the one thing that seemed to give them a bit more teeth. Their attack, that experience. Unfortunately, against the big guys, sometimes you can't help an injury. Hopefully it's not too bad.
Right, you can't really help, especially if you're closing in on those 40 number as far as your age is concerned for a fast bowler that Dale Steyn is. But just does that change things? Because before the start of this game, it was Bangalore that beat Kings 11 Punjab playing at home. But now with Steyn out, does that now give Kings 11 a bit of an edge?
I mean, it does. They certainly would be happy not to face him. There's no doubt about that. But then you bring in a player, a world-class bowler that's, he's known for his test stuff and all that, Southee. But he's capable. He's more than capable. So it's just a matter of him actually finding within himself to step up and bowl good, bowl the right lines, bowl the right lengths, and get into the game. Because if he's to replace Dale and do it well, then they're a very good chance of winning the game. But obviously with Southee, so far in the tournament, we've seen that he hasn't.
A bit off.
Yeah, a little bit off. So if he steps up, which he's more than capable of doing, that should be okay.
Does swing the ball as well. When he's bowling well.
Yeah.
Hopefully, for some reason, bowled a lot of slow balls in that one game where I think Andre Russell got after them. A far better bowler than what he's shown so far.
The other change that Royal Challengers Bangalore have made is that Pawan Negi, the all-rounder, is out. They've got Washington Sundar, also a bit of an all-rounder, but mostly a bowler there. This is his record in the IPL. Did rather well in the seasons before this. Not this time around. I mean, this was a change that you thought should have been done in.
It was a bit strange not to give him an opportunity for so long. With Negi, I don't think he was. You can call him an all-rounder, but he didn't bowl regularly or didn't bat high enough, to contribute to the team. So it was a bit strange. Okay, condition specific at times. If there is spin, you can get his overs in. But Washington Sundar gives you a little bit more. Just can bowl with the new ball. We've seen Harbhajan already dismiss Chris Gayle with the new ball. Likely to bowl against Chris Gayle, Washington Sundar. So I hope he goes well. I think those numbers are pretty good. I mean, under 8 economy. It's if we can replicate that, it'll be a good day for him.
All right, those figures we can see. Could you also, look at how Bangalore have played, Sean, this time around? Their batting has done rather well. We spoke about Pawan Negi. If you were to compare the two of them, Sundar and Negi probably the better batsman, but Sundar probably the better bowler. Yeah. And since Bangalore were batting rather well, they thought might as well, stock in the bowlers.
I think sometimes, Negi's been okay, but without making a big impact on the game, you can change it and give someone else a go. And Washington is more than a capable batsman. He can sort of bat up and down the order as well. So may as well give him a shot. I think this. I must say, the last few weeks of this show, I kept confusing him with being left-arm orthodox because I kept talking about him playing in the team as a left-armer, but he's a left-hand batter.
Yes.
So that's my bad. But anyway, never mind that. So I think he's a more than capable player. To come in. He did well for Pune, I think, a couple of years ago.
Yeah, very well, actually. Yeah.
Well, he can bowl like a left-arm bowler. He's a mystery spinner. He can bowl anything that you want. He's got all those trickery up his sleeve. Okay, we'll take a look at the other team as well and the changes that they've made. That's Kings 11 Punjab. They've also gone in with 2 changes. That one's a bit surprising. Nicholas Pooran coming in for Curran. Sean, I'll start with you on this one. Sam Curran was doing a decent job for them, especially with the ball.
Yeah, he was. I think he was doing a decent job without being really good. Like he was, I'm a fan of him. I think he's going to be a good cricketer eventually, and he's a good cricketer now, but he's going to be a good cricketer eventually. Nicholas Pooran didn't offer too much, I suppose, when he came in. He did his job, but it wasn't as if it was a huge impact on the game. Yeah. But I suppose here, in Bangalore, it's not a bad selection either way. I think it's not a big deal. You know.
Now that makes the toss even more a better toss to win. Just going in with 5 bowlers. It's a bit of a risk in a place like Bangalore. To play just with 5 bowlers. Now that they're chasing, they've got some breathing space.
Could it be the reason that they lack all-rounders in their team? If you look at that team, once Ashwin comes in, then it's sort of a tale that starts for Kings 11, which is why let go of an all-rounder and got a batsman just to
he said at the toss that they strengthen their batting and just sort of trust their 5 bowlers to get the job done. On the night, it's a bit of a risk, but that's what at least he's won the toss and put the onus on the batsman. Hopefully they can restrict RCB to a total which is then chaseable, because you can stock your team with as many batsmen as you want. You can't keep chasing 200. You still need bowlers to keep you in the game or win you the games.
It's 1-1 at the moment. You got Pawan Negi right that they should make that change, but you wanted Ankit Rajput to come in, and that's exactly what they've gone with.
I like him. It's just the simple stuff about him. I like the way he's a well-built fast bowler, hits the wicket hard. He can shape it away, all that sort of stuff. I just like him. I think he hits a nice heavy length. Okay, it's not going to go well from every night. He's the sort of guy that if you get after him, he might not have that many options to come back with. But when he gets it right, I think he's difficult to hit. He can be he can probably hit the bat a bit quicker than you might think. And I think for the future of Indian cricket, I think he's going to be a big part of it, and I quite like him.
Condition-based change, you reckon? Smaller ground, might as well go with a fast bowler than a spinner. Right?
And a spinner who's quite inexperienced that they've left out, Brar. So. He swings the ball away. We've seen teams target Virat Kohli, world over, have targeted if they can shape the ball away early on in his innings. Chennai bowled quite well to him the other night. If he can get the ball to do something early on, like Sean said, he's got a bit about him. Gets that extra bounce, a bit of pace. So, I don't think you need too many spinners in Bangalore, especially after you have 2 Ashwins.
Okay, now what is it that RCB really need to do now that they're batting first? They've done well as far as their batting is concerned, but they can optimize it. Numbers do suggest that. If you take a look at how they've performed, probably can get higher totals than they've been getting. This is AB de Villiers, his comparison versus spin and then pace, and you take a look at that. He's done very well against fast bowlers, but it's the spinners that have really troubled him in this season, not overall actually. AB de Villiers is a great player against spin as well. If you look back at the entire IPL, it's just this season that the spinners have troubled him. Just keeping that in mind, you would have thought that they went with that extra spinner. I'm just, I don't know, maybe Mujib's not fit as yet. We heard reports of him being not really there.
But they've still got the 2 Ashwins. I don't think you necessarily need 3 spinners just because
they've been playing
one player.
They've been playing 3 spinners in a lot of matches.
But it's also, Mohali is a much bigger ground. A couple of the pitches have been a little bit slow where it's grip, so that affords them to do that. But not here. I think. Look at those numbers. It's still pretty good for someone who's had an average IPL. We haven't heard much of AB de Villiers in this IPL, but
and you remember he's got the most 50s that day we were looking at.
4.
4. By any player.
Sometimes you know what? Sometimes you can get caught up in the whole fact. Okay, well, let's play an extra spinner just because he doesn't play it that well. This at the moment. But then, who is that spinner? Is it quality or is it just an
Mujib,
okay?
I thought, maybe.
Yeah, so exactly. I'm just, in general, all teams, it's like, okay, let's play an extra spinner or an extra seamer, but sometimes you got to get the quality in there and you got to make the right choice. So if a fast bowler's in good form, you'd rather pick him than the spinner, even if it's a good time to play a spinner. If the spinner's not in good form or he's an average spinner, just play your good bowler at the time.
Okay.
Sometimes, you got to make those decisions as well.
One is, of course, AB de Villiers. The other is Marcus Stoinis. And I'll come to you about Stoinis, Sean. Big bash, I reckon he did rather well opening the innings, and that's where he was doing well. If you take a look at these numbers, what's interesting is that he takes his time to get going. I mean, likes to spend some time on the pitch. Is it then a good idea maybe to open with him? Maybe Virat at 3? Is that something that you consider?
It's certainly an option. I mean, he can bat anywhere, but at the moment, I think he's playing that role of just complementing their innings. So if the other guys get going, Virat, AB, Moeen Ali, although he batted in front of Moeen Ali last game, I think, but they get going, he can sort of get you 20 off sort of 10 at the end or 20 off 7 balls at the end, whatever it might be. So he's almost complementing the team. He might bowl 1, 2 overs, he might bowl 4. So he's a bit of a utility like that way. I think he's a handy guy to have in your side, but if you give him a big role, I think he can do that as well.
Those numbers look really good on the screen. I mean,
Yeah.
44 average, almost 140 strike rate. I just expected a bit more from Stoinis, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's a far better player than what he's shown in this IPL. Came to India a couple of years back, I think in the one-day series.
Yep.
Played spin really well, which which took a lot of people by surprise. How easily he played spin and dominated in that series with his batting particularly. So. Yeah, I think RCB would be expecting a bit more than they've got so far from him because he's definitely got the quality.
Now, the reason I mentioned Virat Kohli, maybe get him to number 3. If you take a look at how Virat Kohli's innings have progressed this time in this IPL, we're taking a look at overs 1 to 15, and over the years, this is the slowest that he's played. Maybe, Sean, is it down to the rest of the batters around him? Maybe De Villiers not in great form, the others really not chipping in, which is why he thinks that he needs to take that responsibility and be that extra careful.
It's a tough question, really. I mean, you look at Virat, you think the way he plays, he just plays the same way every time, but maybe you're right. I mean, maybe the team was struggling a little bit at the start, that he thought he'd take it upon himself to bat more sensibly. I think he should just bat normal. Go out, play the way he plays, and that's it. And then hope, you can't control. A lot of guys through the IPL have been doing that a bit. I don't think you can control everyone else. Just go out and play the way you play, you get 100. Away you go.
Right, he may be a bit slower than usual when you're talking about 1 to 15, but take a look at from 16 to 20, and that's where he really comes into his own. He's got a great strike rate there in the matches that he's played. 4 matches, look at that strike rate of 233, almost the best that he's done in the IPL, which is what then takes me back to that point. If you bring it up number 3, get Stoinis up on top, then there's a chance or likelihood of him playing at the end and then playing.
I think they tried Stoinis at the top, if I'm not wrong,
Yeah.
when he joined their team. Didn't quite work. If he's there at the end, it doesn't matter whether he bats number 3 or opens the inning. I mean, he can bat just as well against the new ball, which you want a good start. I think Parthiv Patel does give you a good start. Sometimes can get stuck as well. So you don't want both batsmen. If Stoinis is going to make a slowish start and Parthiv Patel doesn't get going, you don't want to waste those 6 overs, because Virat naturally, I mean, he doesn't even try to force the issue. He's got shots which can score off good balls. So no, I think it's working for them at the moment, at least the last couple of games. Hopefully Parthiv Patel produces another innings. I mean, his numbers aren't too bad.
Yeah.
But they need just go bang bang in the first 6 overs, give them that start.
All right, that'd be an interesting battle. We'll talk about that a little later. But for now, we've got the poll going, and this is a simple question. If you're watching us on our Facebook page, here it is. Who will win today, Bengaluru or Punjab? Just cast in your vote. We'll have the results right at the end of the program. Now, turning our attention to that, who's going to open for RCB, as we're saying, it is most likely going to be Parthiv Patel and Virat Kohli. The bowler that Kings 11 really will have with the new ball, and he's been doing rather well, is Mohammad Shami. We've seen a resurgent Mohammad Shami in this IPL. Take a look at those first 5 matches, how well he's done, and then he's even improved from that performance in the last 5 matches in IPL 2019. I mean, that form that we saw for the India colours, it's clearly now moved into or extrapolated in a way to the IPL tour.
Yeah, just confidence, obviously experience helps. It's just the way he's gone about over the last year. I mean, I've always been a big fan of Shami, just because he's one of those guys who'll get you wickets, no matter what the format is, no matter what the conditions are. Just a lot quicker than a lot of people think he is, and at the moment can put the ball where he wants, which just comes from form, confidence, and he's a lot fitter. You can see that with the way he's running in. So I'm quite happy. I think he's obviously going to be not just for Kings 11 tonight and going forward, but for India, a very critical bowler over the next couple of months.
Right, and he's been performing a dual role for Kings 11 Punjab. If you take a look at the numbers, then it's the power play, which he really contains the batsman, ensure that not too many runs are scored off his bowling. You can see from 1 to 6, the economy of 7, and then he gets into his own at the end, that death 16 to 20. He's picked up 10 wickets there. He's doing something right, Sean, which most other bowlers struggling to do, is that pick up wickets in that death.
Absolutely, 16 to 20, that's gold. You've got a bowler like that's going to pick up 10 wickets of the death for you in 18 overs. They're great numbers.
Yeah, I mean, would have looked even better if one of the fielders had stayed in the ring against Andre Russell. He bowled him at a real pitch.
So I mean, you're right. I mean, he's one of the best death bowlers now in the world, probably, or best bowlers in general, in all formats. But he's the leader of this attack. You take him out of this attack and it starts to look pretty thin. So he's arguably the most. I mean, you got Gale and Raul and these guys, but he's arguably the most important player in the Kings 11 side.
The other thing that he does rather well is really defend the score. Whenever the team is defending a total, he's the one who really stands out for his team. Bowling first, you could take a look at that economy, and then bowling second is even better. Look at that strike rate when bowling second. Of course, today Kings 11 Punjab would be bowling first. The exciting contest to look out, Ajit, in that one would be Parthiv Patel. He can't stop himself from hitting a few shots, but as we saw with Shami's numbers, he ensures that not too many shots are scored in that power play.
Yeah, I think it's just the control that he has with his bowling at the moment. Through form, obviously. Just bowls very straight. At the moment, it's not giving batsmen too many loose stuff to cash in on. And Parthiv Patel actually enjoys playing fast bowling. It likes using the pace, so should be a good contest. At the moment, I don't think there are too many bowlers bowling as well as Shami is in the world, and across formats, which is a tough thing to do, especially in the IPL, where you're always bowling the hard overs, whether it's with the new ball or towards the end of the innings. Sometimes can get to you, but at the moment, he's doing it successfully.
All right, let's turn our attention now from Mohammad Shami to RCB bowling, and clearly not their strongest suit in this IPL. Today also it's going to be even worse with Dale Steyn out, and they've had to really bring in Tim Southee. Let's see how the RCB bowling pans out. At the start of the order, it's going to be Chris Gale. Interesting there. Sean, Moeen Ali is one bowler that they could use against Chris Gale, the off spinner.
He's been pretty good. I mean, a guy like Gale against slow spin, he can take it down if he's in the mood. It can go the other way. At the same time, I think Moeen Ali stood up. He doesn't turn the ball a hell of a lot. He keeps it pretty simple, but he's a smart bowler. He's world class.
Sundar's an option.
Yeah, Sundar's another option as well. So, I think I don't mind the fact that Moeen Ali can play a big part in his bowling this game. And again, he's played against all these world-class players, so he's not going to be too phased about it.
All right.
Southee is going to be big, isn't it? He'll have to step up. What Dale Steyn's done over the last couple of games is just provided important wickets to them to keep them in the game or keep them on top of their game. Southee needs to step up, really. You need a leader in that attack, which they possibly have been lacking. Someone to help the likes of Saini around them. Hopefully, Southee can do that.
Okay, Southee will really have to step up, but what is it that RCB are missing? They are missing Dale Steyn. Now, and he's been the one reason that they've done rather well in the last few games, and this is Bengaluru's bowling in power play. This is with Steyn and without Steyn, and you can see a clear difference there. Look at the economy, the average, the strike rate, all of it. There's a stark difference. It's not even close ever since Dale Steyn joined the ranks. The reason Ajit also mentioned Moeen Ali, as you talk about Sundar as well, I'm just looking back at the scorecard of the last game. He's not been bowling consistently. That last game had a crucial role with the ball, picked up a wicket, 4 overs for just 19 runs. Clearly something works when you're playing against Kings 11 for Moeen Ali as a bowler.
Yeah, a different ground as well. This is a different venue, but I'm sure there'll be a role to play. Definitely when Chris Gale is on. You want to get Chris Gale out. You don't want to leave Chahar later on his overs. If Chris Gale is in, it is going to be difficult for him. It doesn't matter how well he bowls. So, look, anyone who can. That's the versatility of Moeen Ali. I mean, he's batting, bowling at condition specific at times maybe, but tonight could be a big role for him, especially early on in the innings. We'll have to see what the conditions are like. If it grips, could be an even bigger role because he's got a lot of control. We've seen him enough against India. He's always done well against India, picked up wickets, so he's definitely got the quality.
We showed you numbers of Mohammad Shami in the death. As Sean was saying, that's gold dust. If someone can pick 10 wickets in the death overs there, just bowling 18 overs. We've got someone who's probably doing even better. That's Navdeep Saini. And if you were to take a look at those Bengaluru's bowling in overs 17 to 20, Navdeep Saini with an economy of 9.3, a strike rate of 12. He's picked up 4 wickets. It's all the other pacers put together. See the difference in the overs as well. 8 to 22. He's that standout bowler, Sean, this season.
I think everybody across the board is pretty impressed with him. He's got good pace, good height in his action. You can see guys are uncomfortable facing him. So if you've got guys that are uncomfortable facing you, you're going pretty well. He's a bit of a luxury for a captain as well, bowling that pace, that steepling length. So he's also obviously bowled well at the death. So a guy, again, going across Chris Gale as well. I mean, he could be really important tonight.
All right, so Navdeep Saini, in fact, if you were to take a look at the numbers, the most dot ball percentage this IPL, he's got the highest. It's even higher than someone like Jasprit Bumrah. Okay, we're turning our attention to the next point of discussion. That's Chris Gale. We've spoken about him, and KL Rahul will be the key to success for Kings 11 Punjab. Last time we saw Chris Gale, this is just his record this in the IPL at the Chinnaswamy Stadium. Ajit, as you were mentioning, this is a ground he knows rather well and a ground that he loves to bat on.
Yeah, not bad numbers, really. That's a lot of runs. It's it is a ground which is suited, which suits most batters. It's a smallish ground. The pitch is really good. Ball, you can hit the big shots because the pitch is so good. So, yeah, again, critical for them. Whilst it's a good thing that he's in good form, you can see from that selection of Puran that they are a bit worried about their batting as well. That's why they've strengthened their batting. That again, it's top heavy. If Rahul and Gale, or one of them at least, don't play well, suddenly the batting starts to struggle, that middle order. So, yeah, you'd rather have Chris Gale and Rahul getting the bulk of the runs, but there is some question marks over the rest of the batting.
The only thing that's positive for Royal Challengers Bangalore, just after looking at those numbers of Chris Gale, is the fact that this time chasing he hasn't been doing rather well. I mean, if you see batting first, we can see those figures. He's done outstandingly well this IPL. Look at those number of runs and the average, but it's batting second. He hasn't done well, and today they're batting second.
I mean, the best way to deal with that, obviously, is get a big score early. Bangalore batting first, get a big score, and then Chris then can't let himself get into. You take 5-6 overs, get in.
Yeah.
If you get a monster score, he's going to have to go straight away, which makes things more difficult for him. So I just think if these guys post a big total, we could see a different Chris Gale, the way he goes about it possibly. And some of these guys can put pressure on him when he comes in.
All right, the other one who's really come into his own is KL Rahul. He's having a good IPL as well with the bat. And are there any changes that he's made to his batting? We've got Deep Das Gupta explaining that.
KL Rahul, what an enigma. Of late, yes, he's not been in form, especially red ball cricket, but in white ball cricket, he's been in good nick. He hasn't had a good start to the IPL, though. First few games he didn't score too much, but of late, he's found some kind of form and rhythm. But over the years, there are a few things that he's changed in his game. To start off with, his initial movement was front foot press. And that part, he got quite a few times out, caught behind or caught in the slips. Then to avoid that, he changed his footwork, he changed his initial movement. He started going back and across. And that's where this whole new issue started cropping up with him, with everything that was coming back into the stumps. If you look at last 14-15 innings of his in test match cricket and even in white ball cricket as well, he's scored out quite a few times leg before, or for that matter bowled, because he tends to move a little too across. Now in this IPL, the difference that I've noticed is, again, he's changed his footwork a bit. Earlier on, as I mentioned, he's still going back and across like he was doing even in England. But at that point in time, he was very parallel. So what was happening was going back and across, his front foot would come across and his head would fall over. So anything which was coming back into him, he was kind of, getting into trouble. But now what he's trying to do is he's opened up a bit now. His front foot is actually behind his back foot in the stance. And then he goes back and across. His front foot never comes across his back foot. He's still in line and parallel. Now this is what he's doing. So now what happens is his front foot is not across, it's on the middle stump. Anything which is coming back into him, he's in good position to play it on the onside. And now when you go too across, the other important thing that happens is your head tends to fall over. Now when you're not going across, when your front foot is not going across, as in ahead of your back foot, your head is in position, your head is in on top of your body. It's easier to play anything that is coming back into you. Now, that's something that I believe KL Rahul has worked on because of his issues with the incoming delivery, and the changes is very noticeable during this IPL.
All right, certain changes Deep feels he's made, irrespective of whether he's made those changes or not. Whatever he's done, it's working for him.
Yeah, look, he's a good player. That's why people keep talking, when he's always talked about whether he's in good form or not, it's because he's a good player. Yeah, I'm glad he's in good form, especially now that he's been picked in the World Cup squad. He should continue to get runs.
Okay, completely out of time. Fab 4. Sean, you'd want to go first?
Okay. I need
go ahead, pick your player. Parthiv Patel, should I put him down?
All the help I can get. Parthiv started pretty good. Let's have a look at the teams, please.
Okay, we'll have the team. There you go, you've got the teams there.
Okay, here we go. Okay, Bengaluru. Look, I'm going to go AB.
Oh, I was going to go AB.
I bet. And Parthiv.
Parthiv, yeah.
Get the bowls out of it. Here I'm going to have a look at Rahul and Shami.
Ajit, your turn.
Okay, let's go Chris Gale and Mayank Agarwal and Virat Kohli. And who we got here? Saini.
Saini, okay. Seems like a close contest already on paper at the moment. We'll quickly have the poll result as well. A simple question that we asked you: who's going to win the game today between Kings 11 Punjab and Bengaluru? And here are the results. 57% feel Bengaluru. That would be their 4th win in a row if that was to happen. 43% feel Punjab. Anyway, as things stand right now, Bengaluru can't afford to lose another match. Sean Tate, Ajit Agarkar, thanks so much for joining us. You're watching ESPN Cricinfo Matchday.